live because
Well,
the broadcast is live. Now we're live. Okay.
So we're
Well, Jimmy, we're aware that you're talking, or no, you're at Jelly Roll concert. We were just trying things out, and okay, does that mean everything we just said
no.
isn't out there?
As of
right now.
As of right now, we're live.
But I mean, what was happening before can't be put out for the public to see. All right, let's start over if we can a little bit. All right, I'll say what I said. This is our first PCT MAB PCT, whatever you want to call it. He'll figure out. Maybe you want to just keep it MAB Investigates. That's fine too. Okay.
It's for now.
Yeah. And what we're gonna do is
Paper Cut Tina.
Oh, didn't I say that? I didn't say my name. I said PCT. I'm getting used to all that now.
What we're talking about is Rachel Morin.
Okay.
Yeah, I just watched it on Nancy Grace.
Mm-hmm. And what we're gonna do, so far, if it works, right, is Mab and I are gonna collaborate, and with Mrs. Mab's help too, anytime. We're gonna do what? 2 or 3 different true crime stories, but we're not just gonna go off to another one the next day or in 2 days. I don't think. We're gonna try to stick with them, do a little deep diving into them, right?
In the room, I mean, people are coming in the chat.
Are you kidding?
In Stitches, Pam C.
Oh my God.
Pen 1010.
Hey guys,
and
welcome.
Kitty Cats.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Not funny. That's great.
We're so excited.
We're really excited.
Awesome.
I'm nervous. I'm actually like more shaky than usual.
Don't be nervous. We're all friends.
I know. But we're going to talk about these crimes and we're going to stick with them until at least, right, a suspect is found. And then you say the part that you said about this Rachel Morin boyfriend.
Rachel Morin was found on a trail. I'm not sure which state, but it's
Let's see if I can find
kind of a jogging trail. And she was unclothed.
Bel Air, Maryland.
In Bel Air, Maryland. About 25 minutes from Baltimore. And she was alive, no clothes, 25 feet of a blood trail, a drag trail. And it was near a tunnel of some kind, but I don't know if it was a drainage tunnel or what. Did they jog through that tunnel or is it part of the trail? I don't know. Boyfriend, the new boyfriend of announcing as of 4 or 5 days ago that they were together, offered his DNA up, but being the boyfriend, he would have DNA on her, maybe, possibly.
I just
that's true too, and it's not laughable. I just
How old was she?
She was on multiple dating sites before this happened.
Oh boy. So that could be a slight motive.
She's 37.
37.
Oh, I thought it was like 31. And if he found out, that could be a slight motive, right? To maybe get rid of it. And she had 5 kids, didn't she?
Yes.
That's a lot. I think I got 2. That's enough. Yeah, and then also, so possibly this is what I wanted to do with Mab if you wanted to, and you, is just discuss things. Like I was just gonna say, maybe she would make it then by him to make it look like, right, someone else R'd her. I don't know if we can say RAPE on this during the day. I don't think we're supposed to. That he R'd her. I mean, that someone else R'd her, right? Maybe.
Yeah. And that she was possibly posed.
Yeah, yeah, she was posed, right? She was on her back, I think. And it's I think this was 3 days ago, right, you guys?
Say that again.
Was it 3 days ago that this happened to her? I don't know. It's
We're information gathering right now.
yeah, exactly. We're trying the stream, we're trying everything, and we're figuring out. We purposely don't. We should say this maybe. Is it okay if I say this?
Yes.
We purposely don't want to talk about the mainstream because all the other channels are, right? The how many are there? Koberger, Dorman,
Right.
what are the others? Because for one, all the other channels are doing it and we want to do something different, right? And for two, how much more stuff is there, right? To dig up. So if people ever ask you guys in chat, oh, what about the Dorman or, Dorman boys? We're going to let Jimmy and PJ, Dumplin, and all the other true crime channels, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just be doing some lives now and again, and I mean, talk about my face for a second. It's been a long, long time. I can finally partially talk okay.
Aww.
Still numb in my chin and my lower lip and my teeth. Explain that surgery, honey.
Yeah, I want you guys to do that too, because when Mab told me about the screws and the different 4 places, and like for people that have joined later on what Mab's really been through, they just think he's had his jaw broke in one place, blah, blah.
They say you're echoing.
Oh, I am, aren't I? Oh, yeah, I am.
Oh, hey, thank you. Just what's up, paper cut?
Oh, and I can't see chat. My son's kind of taken over the other iPad all day, all night. But it's okay. So if I don't respond to chat ever, I'll probably announce that at the beginning of each show. Oh, yeah, and they could look at his previous videos too, right?
We're going to have to post it better, but
I can't really see.
Upper jaw. So surgery's done inside the mouth. Cuts here, cuts down here, and then the lower jaw is cut and advanced, and the upper jaw is cut and advanced, and then it's plated here and here and here to hold the bones where they're supposed to stay, and then to keep the jaws together so they don't move independently so they can heal. He had like braces on almost.
Arch bars.
Arch bars, they call them, and then rubber bands holding his teeth together for 4 weeks so that the bones will mend.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, can't remember. And then after that, still no chewing, only liquids for about 3 months. I mean, scrambled eggs are fine, yogurt's fine, banana, stuff like that. But otherwise, no chewing because it takes a while for the bones to mend. And numbness is normal, but it's supposed to dissipate within like the first 90 days. And this is not what's happening. So the lower jaw, it's normal for the chin and the lower lip to be numb for a while, but to have numbness on the upper teeth or on the palate is really unusual. And of course, the risks go up with age. And so the doctor said, it's unusual to be numb this long. Could take a year, could be longer. So
in a year will be 9/7.
Yeah, so it's been over 11 months, and it's been a long road.
I got a question while you were explaining all that. This was done for him being overweight, I guess, and severe apnea. So couldn't he have had lost weight?
So obstructive sleep apnea is an airway issue, and usually it's so the lower jaw kind of slips back while you're sleeping, and then the tongue obstructs the airway and you snore. So we had multiple years of a device that holds his lower jaw forward while he's sleeping to keep the airway patent or open. But in the process of wearing that, it moved his teeth.
I lost that
He
tooth.
lost a front tooth,
Got it now though.
abscessed another front tooth. So then it was like, okay, we're losing teeth now. This is not good. We need a permanent solution. So he went to a sleep doctor, dentist at my practice, and the doctor said, I've been practicing 25 years and I have never seen an airway this small, and I've never seen so many obstructions in the night. If your husband doesn't have jaw surgery, he's going to stroke out. Like, you need to do this now.
Wow.
So we
And I had
did.
to keep alive until the surgery, so I had a CPAP multiple times. I had to go back because the CPAP wasn't good enough. I finally got the high-end CPAP plus the oral device, and I got it down to like 13 to 15 times per hour, but it was 1 time per minute I was choking out. From the lack of oxygen, I was like drowsy all the time. I had, all kinds of symptoms of sleep apnea, obesity, 240 pounds,
Depression,
anxiety, all of that shit.
it can cause heart disease. It can contribute to diabetes. I mean, there's so many health issues that go along with obstructive sleep apnea that we're just kind of learning, in the dental industry, we're just kind of learning about it now and how to identify it and how to help people. I mean, and it's with children too. So people see their children grinding their teeth, and most people, oh, kids just do that, they'll outgrow it. It's not normal. If your children are grinding, they're probably trying to breathe. And a lot of even pediatric doctors and dentists may not even kind of know that yet. I mean, you can really go down the rabbit hole with that one. But it took years for us to finally figure it out that you can't really just fix the symptoms. You have to get to the root of the problem and address it there.
So even those with CPAPs out there, you're not fixing the problem because you're still having chokeouts. It's just a little bit less.
CPAPs work for some people.
CPAPs work for some,
They
but
do.
you got a CPAP, you got a problem.
And if you snore, you have a problem. And
Okay, my ex, my son's father has the machine or the CPAP now, and he lost what did he lose? A lot of weight pretty quickly. I won't say where, go to a certain place. He lost some weight, not trying to lose weight, and anyway, snoring was like non-existent. And so we thought his sleep apnea, he had the obstructed, was gone. He would stop breathing because I filmed it 45 seconds in a row once. That's almost a minute without going. And then it all coming out. And I was like, you got to look at this. But when he lost weight, that's why I brought up the thing. There's
And
no way.
that can contribute, because if you've got a lot of fat around your neck,
Mhm.
down on your neck when you're sleeping, yes, weight loss can definitely take care of it.
But MAB had a teeny little airway hole on top of that, they're saying.
Yeah, and we have pictures of that.
You got Jimmy live.
Wow.
Oh, he's having fun.
Wow.
Me and PJ are going to the concert, looks like.
Oh, they're not in there yet. They're in the parking lot. Okay. Lucky them.
Cute.
Been to a concert in ages. Trying
So,
to think.
I mean, we could have a whole separate chat on sleep apnea and, airway issues, but basically that's what we've been dealing with for the last year. And, you know, and that's kind of how MAB got into the true crime thing anyway, because he's home, you know, not able to work and got to do something. So
I just found Jimmy and started going up. I saw the arch bars on when I
That's so cool.
yeah, you did.
That's really cool because I remember the first time he came up, he was putting the sticks in.
Yes, to get his mouth to get the range of motion back.
Yeah.
the 7-tongue depressors and ended with 30,
I thought 27.
27.
And then he kept them, and it was so gross. I threw them away. I'm sorry.
Poor thing. And people, you know, and then the spit rag, maybe you should just touch on that. You can't control your.
Because sometimes
It was
I
drooling.
can't feel this lower lip, so I could have drool. And if I use my numbing gel, it makes me drool even more, so I have to use that spit rag on, and people bang me on the chat for that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going through what I'm going through.
Mhm.
I hope this isn't the new normal, but I'm praying for healing.
I will say, I mean, I stayed at the hospital the night of the surgery, and even with tubes in his nose and swollen and wired shut and all that nightmare of that very first night, he did not snore. So it fixed the problem 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, does not snore.
Hi, Anna. Rotten Apple News. You better
Wow.
sleep test, buddy. Hi, Brian. Anna.
So
Wow.
that's our story this last year.
Yeah.
It's the timing, I think, is really, I mean, it's good. You know, and you've hung on Turtle Island, and you know,
Yeah.
we all get along really well, and Matt honestly is just as well known. I don't want to use the word popular, well known as I am, and I just did you ask me or did I offer to help first? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you brought it up a few months back, and then we kept talking about it, and finally you're able to talk. I
We
mean,
hooked up today. We talked on the phone and
yeah.
figured out StreamYard, and here we are.
Here we are. Well,
When we do these StreamYards each time, then should I go to my email for the link? I'm wondering, or because at least Jimmy's changes. We're used
Anybody
to.
else wants to come up? Here's the link.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, MAB's pretty much of a technical wizard. I can barely get on my email. So.
Oh yeah, me neither. Yeah, in fact, I didn't want email even when my daughter was in high school. I didn't want it.
When we met, I had a flip phone and he had an iPhone, and he offered to buy me an iPhone, and I said, it'll be wasted on me because I don't know how to do anything. And then finally he convinced me. So.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna get sometime too. For the people that don't know, I have a flip phone.
Let me see that again.
I knew that, I thought.
It open.
No way.
How old is that thing?
It's a Verizon, so it's only about 8 years old or so.
Oh my God, it still works?
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, not this phone. This phone is new. And it's thick like a grenade, kind of. I've dropped it enough. Well, I don't know what a grenade looks like or feels like, but it's heavier. And I'm on my mom's family plan, and it's nice, but it's small. You know, I don't want to lose it.
Let's bring in Rotten Apple News. Hey, man.
Oh, cool. Hi, Rotten Apple.
Hey, what's happening there, y'all?
That's a funny name.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you, buddy? You sound like you're having a rough time. Hello,
No,
Pete.
I've been going through it for almost a year.
I only jumped in a few minutes ago. What? So you've got sleep apnea and stuff like that, or
choking out basically every 60 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And so my heart would race to try to get oxygen. And my oxygen would go down to like the lowest it was like 79. It's like almost dead.
Yeah, that's when you touch your skin and you pinch it and it don't fall back; it stays up.
Then your heart races to try to get oxygen, So your blood pressure goes up. That's where the stroke danger is.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's,
Did you say you
So
had sleep apnea?
I don't know. I think I got a, I looked into it. There's like 3 different versions, I believe. And I don't know. I think I might, but I've had medical issues. I've had open heart surgery, all kinds of crap. I'm only 55. It was a genetic thing. It wasn't because I was eating bad and, stuff like that. But, right now I'm not about me, but I'm recovering from having my right lower bicep tendon reattached about 10 days ago. While I was at work, it popped off, and the other one did it 12 years ago. We're getting old, man. I'm falling apart.
I'm 60 and
Yeah, so I'm glad to see you're all right. But yeah, the reason I was curious is if it gets real bad, I don't know what type of sleep apnea you have, but I had a buddy of mine. We went on a cruise one time, a rock and roll cruise, and I couldn't sleep in the room. The guy I thought he was gonna die. He's overweight, big guy, and it's always been a joke all of our lives. Oh, look at this big guy, big old teddy bear, right? Until you're not around the guy when he sleeps, but he's sleeping, and literally I recorded him while he was sleeping because I thought he was dying, like over and over again, like you said, every 60 seconds or whatever. And he got mad when I showed him the video because I literally had to sleep in like in a big old room. I wasn't in the room, out in the hallway, pretty much essentially. But once I showed him that, he was like, "Wow, that's great." So then he didn't know his wife. Quick story: his wife kicked him out of the house because he snored too loud. Or out of the room. Nobody thought about sleep apnea or whatever. Well, anyways, long story, really short. He got it fixed and he lost a lot of weight. He told me some things, about. He's like, "Yeah, no, it's working better and everything. Man, he's a much happier guy. He's sleeping more. So yeah."
Lost 90 pounds.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No, that's what do you weigh now?
170. I was
Okay.
down to 152, and I started at 240.
Right. You didn't have diabetes or pre-diabetes. I don't know if you did. I didn't catch that part, but
no.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So glad to see you're all right. I just found this little niche of community that you guys got here, the true crime stuff. I think that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So
Did his
Alabama mama of 4. Good to see you.
wow?
Beautiful.
Did the little icon, not
Sweet
icon,
home
did
Alabama.
the car just come up? Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I just was curious how he found it. Did it just come up on your computer, MAB Investigates, or how does that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, no, when I'm late, I'm off of work because I'm no good arm right now. So I'm staying up later and, I'm out of routine. So I'm bored, got nothing going on. And you go on YouTube and you look on the tabs at the top and you click on the live. And when somebody's live, it'll tell you they're live. So you can scroll through a bunch of choices of who's live. There was, I don't know how many, but I didn't find you weren't live, but there was another channel that was live and you guys were all in there. So I'm snooping around looking and saying, oh, these guys got some, I'll go check out content out, listen to their stories and stuff.
Yeah.
You ever heard of MAB or PCT, paper cut Tina?
Yeah. Well, I probably subscribed to a bunch of people that were in
Dolly business.
Dolly Uncensored. Yeah, that's where I was at. So,
probably saw.
But I think you guys are really protective of your group, which I can understand. And I got in there and they were like, I don't know, I think they might have been talking about me. I think we got a troll in the house.
Oh, gee. That's too bad.
Hey, I've been called
Huntress.
You'll go back, right?
Yeah,
You'll
Huntress.
go back to
Oh
Dolly.
yeah, I'll go back, but if I'm blocked, I know how to see if I'm blocked, and I was, they either deleted the message or they weren't sure. I don't know, but that's cool.
I don't think they would just block you just because you're new. But
Well, I'm a new guy. You got to be careful because I'll tell you what. I've watched a couple other channels out here. I surf a little bit, seeing what's going on, and there's some battles going on with YouTubers over on this part of the internet and over here on this part. There's so I see what's happening out there, and I know that you guys smaller channels, bigger channels?
Mhm.
I will not be taking part in any kind of bashing other creators or getting into any kind of that mess.
Well, there's
Yeah.
there
When you do that, you're taking away from the true crime that you're supposed to be doing.
Right. I
Well, there-
won't.
yeah. Go ahead, Tina.
No, I was just saying I'm not going to attack other creators too. Like I never really even have. Like I don't sit there and type away, oh, Jones N this, Jones N said this about Jimmy. I stay out of it. No, I really do. That Queen Bee, even the ones that are kind of I'll just say it, against Jimmy, whatever.
Who's
I
Jimmy?
don't get into all that. And I certainly, like Jimmy said, if you go over into those chats,
Who's Jimmy?
even
That's Dolly.
Dolly, sorry.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
His
Yeah.
real name is first name is Jimmy. But he
Right.
said if you well, I won't bring up the
No, I hear you. It's
buzzword.
actually,
The buzzword I was going to say. I'm not going to say it.
well, the internet to me was, a better place a few years ago, but it's gone a little rogue in many ways. And whether, I agree with what Mab just said, and you guys are in a different genre of content than I'm in. There's, I don't know how many of
I'm just taking over for a second. I got to go to the bathroom.
I don't know how many different categories there possibly could be. Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
It's Mab.
This is Mab.
Right. My name's Lee.
Hi, Lee.
So-
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What I was saying, I hate to be on the internet and making content that I didn't intend to create. I've been on here a little while. I don't know how many people, how many of you have been on YouTube for a little bit. I've been around a little bit, not enough to, really be like an expert.
So
But
you have your own channel.
pardon me.
You have your own channel.
Yeah, I do, and
Oh.
and it's not easy to grow your channel out here, but at the same time, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
Mhm.
But I don't know what type of true crime, because I haven't paid attention to what you guys actually, a lot of your stories. I just found you guys last night, but I'll check out your work, your videos and stuff.
Well, this is kind of our introductory video. Mab did one a couple of months ago, and then
Mhm.
it's been difficult for him to speak clearly
Right.
for a while, so we sort of took a hiatus, but wanted to get back into it. So thankfully, Paper Cut Tina kind of said, "Hey, let's do this together," and sort of prompted us to get going, and here we are. So
Right.
maiden voyage right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Hey, no problem. I'll be, in and out, popping around. I if you guys are good people and you're real, I'll be back. If you're not, then I'll be like, oh, no, I will. Like, on to the next thing, But
Yeah.
I think we'll see you again then, Lee.
it's possible. You guys
Yeah.
might not want me to stick around. You might not think that I'm worthy of your company or something, I don't know.
Sound like a
No.
Yeah.
No, you just got
pretty good judge of character.
Well,
yeah.
Well, there's nothing to hide. If you got, I'm not trying to self-promote here at all. I'm just talking.
You got a channel?
Yeah, I do. A couple of people on the internet that I'm talking to you to right now. I'm not talking to anybody else, right? And I've been around the block on the internet, and when I was just explaining to you guys a minute ago that it's not a bad thing that whoever was moderating, making sure that I wasn't a troll coming in to cause trouble and things of that nature, because there's a lot of that going on the internet, especially on YouTube. People doxing each other, people doing crazy things. I can tell you firsthand experience. I know. I'm going to get in. I'm going to tell any. Well, I'm just saying that I'm in a different genre, let alone mindset right now from what I used to be when I started my channel. My channel evolved, my opinions, my views have evolved on what's going on in the world. I endured the pandemic. Were you all on here during the pandemic and see everything that was going on out there and all that? You know, it kind of changed the world a little bit, you know?
We're in California. So, and I'm so it wasn't until April of this year that we were even allowed to take our masks off at work. So that's another story.
And we were both able to avoid the.
Well, you know, I'm trust me, I know you got to do that, you know, because of I'm 55. They wrote a book back in the day that was mandatory reading called 1984.
Yeah.
So I know what's up. I've been one of them. Let me go get my, you know, I'm gonna make some aluminum and
tinfoil hat.
put our suit.
Get up here.
But you know, I've seen a lot of things. We all got a story, and I'm using my space on the internet, which is just a sliver of, you know, not even a microfraction of what's out there. You guys, not everybody's. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You know.
What are you talking about over there?
What do I talk about on my channel?
Yeah.
Truth. How to be free. How to avoid not being free. When I'm talking about free, I'm talking about no government rule over you. You know, no control over your words, your actions. As long as you're not harming anybody or causing any victims, you should be a free man to do what you want. No government telling you how to live.
About censorship, you know, that's going on.
Censorship is what it used to be. Now it's canceling. Now it's shadow banning. You know, and we created that system by, you know, going on Facebook or any social media. There was always a little tab where if you didn't like what somebody was saying, what could you do? Swipe and report. Everybody's snitching on themselves like in 1984, man. You know, that we're living in, and people don't even know it.
That there are words, there's actually words that we're not allowed to say.
In California or in general?
Or just right now, like there's certain words
on here.
On here. Yeah. You know, and even on Facebook, I made some comment on a cat page. I have a cat, so I like my kitties, and it was a joke, and I got in Facebook jail.
Wow.
You're not allowed to have a sense of humor anymore either.
Got a cat.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It is
you know, I don't know if you've ever been censored on Facebook. You know, like go to Facebook jail, like you hear. You know, I think I spent during like right around. Well, actually, it started my censorship on Facebook, which I'm very aware. I'm very perceptive. Like, well, what the heck just happened? It's changed when Parkland School happened. I was in the hospital and had open heart surgery when that was going on, and woke up to it on the hospital room TV of all the coverage. I watched it for 8 days straight. That dude did not do that. That kid did not do that. But that's a whole nother story for another time. So I've been censored since then, off and on. I've probably been in Facebook jail 30 days at a time. Out of a year, I would be out of jail for 2 days, a week, boom, right back in for another 30.
Oh.
Because I would say something, well, I would use a pronoun arguing with somebody about what I believe and what they believe, which is what the internet was designed to do.
Wow.
So you participate in what they create, and then they punish you for it. And while they're building a profile on you all along, because we've all had a profile being built since the time that you pushed an electronic signature or anything that has connected to you. I like I said, I don't wear a hat. I wear a whole suit made of aluminum. So, but it's all true. Nobody can
Faraday cage that surrounds my bed.
Right. You know, smart meters. You know, people. You ever go get them? See the guys with meters and go up to a smart meter and have it go off the chart. You know, it's all a trail.
What's your name?
My actual name is Lee.
Lee.
So, yeah, I'm not trying to hijack your. Well, there you go. There you go. You got one. I'm not trying to hijack your live here, but I just come in to say hello. So,
No, that's fine.
That's nice.
Thing works, and you can tell when you're in a high energy field.
yeah, people don't know how frequencies. That's what we are. We're made of what? Water. So
yeah.
Frequencies.
So right now I'm at 28 volts per square meter. Now if I put it towards my computer, I'm at 397.
Right.
Wow.
Put it by your cell phone and then have somebody call you.
Let's see what's there.
That's
In here, but if I put it over by the
intense.
I put it over by the
frequency is
computer, you're into the
Oh, good.
there's a lot of stuff out there, research wise. A lot of people have never read more than the
your
comment
head too,
section
and
of
find
a
out
newspaper.
how much is going on in your brain. Mine's a 3 right now.
Right.
I put it on my
You guys know about grounding?
Yes, I do barefoot grounding.
Yep. Because we're in an electromagnetic field, so you can harness the energy of the earth without even having a source. You can go look it up on YouTube. Harness Earth's energy with nothing, and you just take. It's incredible. This is what it used to be back in the day. There's
Mrs. MAB is 180.
Oh my
Mine is at 5 or 6.
So what does that mean?
It means
you're like
take your shoes off and you get
Walk in the dirt.
mud and water on your feet.
grounding, yeah.
And I hate my feet being dirty, so that's why.
Well, put some socks on. You'll be all right. But you just don't want rubber between your feet and the ground. Socks are okay, but barefoot better. Get some nice plush grass and walk in it. Yeah, there's a lot of research out there with frequency of, you can make water bend and loop, and if you connect frequency to flowing water, it'll spiral as it comes down. You can make shapes go back up.
You hear of Victor Schauberger?
What frequencies will do.
You ever hear of Victor Schauberger?
Pardon me?
Victor Schauberger.
Resonance? Oh no, I was thinking Schumann resonance. No, maybe, I don't know. Remind me. Tell me.
He came up with a thing called I forget what it was called, but it was made with like water and some turbines and stuff, and it would start spinning, on its own, and it would go. If you let it go, if you didn't break it, the thing would just fly off.
Right.
So it was free energy, basically.
Right. Well, perpetual motion is
You should look it up
several times, but they shut it down.
Oh yeah, they'll shut any.
You can run a car on water. You can run it on hydrogen.
You know what happened to the guy who did the water car? He got poisoned by a Romanian guy.
Yep. There's I believe that the planet has been hijacked by demons and they're running the show. That's my belief. So
That's pretty close to the truth.
And if you know it and you can avoid it, the better you are. So it's pretty crazy. Like have you heard of Dr. Emoto?
I'm gonna use the restroom.
Dr. Emoto. I sure hope everything comes out all right.
No, me too.
Dr. Emoto?
Dr. Emoto.
No, I haven't heard of him. What's he about?
He does experiments, with sound and how they used to tell us back in the day when we were kids that sticks and stones, blah blah. Well, names will hurt you, whether people understand it or not. Words can hurt you, not your physical body, but it can inside. he did an experiment that they've been doing in schools and stuff for a while. It's you take 3 jars or you cook some rice, and you take 3 equal amounts and put it in a jar, each 3 jars. Then you label 1 jar love, 1 jar hate, and 1 jar is just nothing. And you treat them all the same, other than when you take them out of the time when you're conducting the experiment. You keep them in the same, pull the one out with love, and you give it love and tenderness, and it's the best rice ever, right? And you just say nice things to it, and then you put it back, and then you take the one that says hate, and you just say mean things to it, and be terrible to it, and put it back. And then just take the other one that says nothing on it and just hold it. Just don't say nothing to it. Don't do anything to it. Same amount of time, put it back. Over a period of time, month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it takes, the jar that you gave love to looks like you could almost eat it. The jar that you spoke to it negatively and with hate was moldy and rotted. The jar that you didn't say anything to it, it was kind of in between.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
you can do that experiment a million times and it'll come out the same.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that guy.
Well, yeah, he also did he would
Plants.
Huh?
Did you do something with plants?
No, he would freeze water with music. Like he took Amazing Grace, like a crystal, ice crystal, Amazing Grace, and the crystal formed to a beautiful pattern. And he took heavy metal music, like rah, 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 and he froze that, and it was all like an ugly ice formation.
Yeah, I believe
it's the devil's music.
I think the true crime, in this country has gotten worse since the 50s, early, 40s, 50s, because of video games, people indoctrinating,
desensitized,
without their knowledge. They're on video games shooting each other and killing people, and
Cartoons before that.
cartoons. Then it was, heavy metal.
Well, you could say the Three Stooges as well, but at the same time, I grew up watching cartoons and Three Stooges, and I didn't go around bonking people in the heads with hammers.
Right.
It's almost as if it was, we know right from wrong. You know what I mean? And in what I think it's a combination of that. You're right. Go ahead. It's the desensitization of people's, minds. But like you were saying. I mean, interrupt. Don't get to talk to people too much. So, like, shut up. Well, when you're thinking about the true crime stories, what are you doing? Like just one-off, some guy that you would never suspect, or you do all kinds of stuff like Ted Bundy? Because there's an incredible amount of serial killers out there that people don't even know about.
Huberman guy, Long Island serial killer, going on right now.
The lady in Maryland that was murdered.
I thought they caught that guy, the guy that was doing all that Long Island.
They did.
Right.
They did, but he hasn't had his trial yet.
Now they're saying one attorney for the victims is saying the wife knew he was having ladies of the night down in the basement.
Did she know that they weren't coming back up? Or
no,
we don't know, but they say that there's no way she couldn't have known what was going on.
But
her hair was on some of the victims.
2 of the victims.
As far as a lot of hair, or just a
couple strands,
transfer hair, or
could have been transferred
from her head. But yeah, it could have been transferred from him. But they're still saying, like, you live with somebody for 23 years,
right.
27 years. You've got to have an inkling that something is amiss.
Oh yeah, there's no way in the world that you can live with somebody for that long and not know that they're some strange character or something's going on. But that might be the self-preservation thing. You know what I mean? Don't say a word. Keep yourself safe. Yep. It's Stockholm syndrome situation.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, that's very valid.
You got y'all. You ever dig into? There's a couple of stories that I know about personally.
Yeah.
Not because I had anything to do with it, but because I know the people who were involved. And here in Michigan, in the Detroit area, there was a while back. And if you haven't done it, you're more than welcome to, write the names down and check it out and do a little investigating on it and do a story. It's a pretty interesting story. But there was two stories. One of a guy named Ken Tranchita who murdered a young lady. The young lady, it was a pretty well-known story. It kind of went national. It was on Montel Williams, and a local news reporter here in Detroit named Cheryl Choden wrote a book on it, and somebody else wrote a book and things like that. And actually, it was on Forensic Files. It was showcased on that show. Well, this young lady named Tina Biggers, I think was her name, if I'm remembering it correctly. She was a college student going to Oakland University, and she was studying sociology or psychology or something of that nature. And she decided to do a hands-on training, or not training, but a hands-on. I don't know what she was doing, but she was checking out doing a research thing, I guess. That's the word I was looking for. She was researching the difference between a street prostitute and their lifestyle and all of the things that come along with it, as opposed to a high-class call girl situation. Well, she became a high-class call girl during her research because she realized, oh, look at all this money I can make, right? Well, I don't know why she did it, but you would think. She met this guy named Ken Tranchita as a John. He was calling and telling her a bunch of, I'm Rich Man Joe, and I can, Elmer J. Fudd, I can buy you a mansion and a yacht, right? And it got to the point where she wasn't charging him to spend time with him, even though she was still in a relationship with this guy, living with him, and they were going to, anyway, I can't remember if they were married or not married, her and that guy. Well, they got into a discussion, argument over a purchase of a vehicle that he promised to buy her, and she wanted it. And one thing led to another. They got into a fight. She ended up being choked to death and yada, 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 and hid in the back trunk of her car for a minute. And then he took her and put her in her, in his uncle's backyard and somewhere around there. Cops did a terrible job doing the investigation, but they eventually got him because the uncle said, hey man, my nephew's a little goofy, man. I think that he might have had something to do with this. And so yeah, he did, and he ended up going to prison. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is that when I was in prison, I spent 4 years in prison back in 2002, from 2002 to 2006. And while I was in prison, long story short, I ran into this Ken Tranchita guy. Didn't know him about him, and ended up becoming friends with him. He's better than hanging out with a child, abuser. You know what I mean? You're limited when you're in prison who to associate with. So, but nonetheless, you can guarantee, I gave him the riot act and told him he was the biggest, dumbest son of a beat nut gum on the planet, and you're an idiot. And I was this close to punching him in the face a couple of times just because he's like stupid. Why would you go and do that? And there's more to the story, but this guy is the one who killed Tina Biggers, and he's a little off his rocker, definitely, because they put mentally ill people in Michigan prisons and probably in other prisons around the country because they've reduced the mental health care budgets everywhere. So that was one of the two. And then I'll shut up because I'm talking way too much.
No, I like it.
There was another girl. There was another young girl. You can look that up, and maybe another time I can tell you about it. But her name was Stephanie Dubé. And she was 15 years old from Clinton Township, Michigan. She was a runaway, and a couple of guys befriended her. One thing led to another. They ended up killing her and dismembering her body, cutting off her head, and blah, blah, blah. And before they got caught, that head ended up on one of my good friends' dining room table
Oh my gosh.
inadvertently by somebody who discovered the head, stole it from the murderers, and took it to my friend's house, freaking out and panicking. And then they called the police, and one thing led to another. And I ran into that guy, one of the two guys in prison.
Of course.
I didn't know who it was until he told me who he was, and then I was like, I gotta go because I got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
At the time, I've my daughters were like 11 and 10 or 12, and
I knew of the twins in Boulder Creek when I lived there, and they were beautiful. I mean, just knock dead gorgeous. And they were like 15 at the time, I think. 15 and 16, and then they started getting into meth.
Mm.
One thing led to another, and one of the twins ended up in the beach flats, OD'd. Which is beach flats is a place down here. It's known for drug trafficking and stuff.
right. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's I can't even begin to imagine what goes through somebody's head. When that's I don't know. There's a lot of things in this world that I don't understand, and I think that I may have a little grasp on it, but that's something that I will never be able to actually comprehend how somebody could do that. I could see self-defense and spur of the moment, but to actually plan it out, I'll tell you, I'm an investigative journalist. This is what I'm doing now with my channel. And if somebody's a phony or a fake, a fraud, you're a rotten person, you're scamming, you're ripping, well, if I know about it and I can keep somebody from being a victim, I'm going to let them know. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to keep running on and on and on here. You guys, it's your channel. You tell your audience what you want to hear.
We're fine.
So
We get interesting stories.
well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad in this world. So
There is.
Mm-hmm.
hence the name of it. Tina, you said, well, that's an interesting name on Apple News.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well,
Well,
I'm gonna
I
do
didn't
like
know
this
if you
report.
were a creator or if it was just your name. I
Well,
should have
yeah,
been a creator, but
yeah.
some people just come up with these names, and I didn't choose my name. It was
No,
between Jimmy Williams from Dolly Vision and this guy Dot that's been calling in for 2, maybe even 3 years. Picked it because, well, for one, during the C, I'll just call it the C. I didn't go on Zoom and all that, and then I got an iPad and then, well, no, first I was just watching the news, and then that's when the Summer Wells thing came up, and she kept everybody apart. And I don't know if you heard about her, but she's been missing now for 2 years plus from Tennessee. I'm echoing again. I'm still echoing. It's faint, but it's loud. That doesn't make sense. Faint but loud. That makes no sense. Wonder why I'm echoing. Maybe, do you have a microphone on that end you can turn me down on, MAB?
you're talking to me. I'm like, oh, it's not me.
Oh, because,
It's my first time on this.
yeah, that might have something to do
It might be an open tab. If you're on StreamYards, I got StreamYards. It might be an open tab up top. That's or something, or volume that might be down not enough. But you were only a little bit. Try it again, Tina.
Yeah, it's like this. Oh,
You're better.
oh my gosh. What did you do, MAB?
I did something. I hit
It's gone. You're not echoing.
I hit reduce mic background noise.
Oh my gosh.
Cancellation.
Actually, I like StreamYards. It's a good platform.
Well, I'll tell you what made me think of it was when Dumplin was telling Jimmy last night. Oh, wait, is it happening again?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he can lower lady that comes up. I'm hearing background.
You're cutting out a little bit, but it's not loud. But you
Okay.
cut out a little bit. Yeah, some
It's just
people, I feel like some people's voices are really, I don't know, it hurts my ears.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of hearing damage from 25 years of dentistry, but
from that loud whistle.
some of those high pitches or just
Mhm.
higher, yeah,
Wow.
It's like a sonic whistle.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I worked
But
in a place that had sonic welding, like plastic parts, where they would weld the plastic parts together by sonic, and it was that like a high. I would hear it in my sleep. It was. I had
Oh,
to quit the job.
man.
I ended up finally seeing an audiologist and got some custom ear protection.
Oh.
And telling the other girls at work, like, you gotta do this. Like, I'm the oldest hygienist there. So I'm like, you guys that haven't been doing this very long, you're gonna lose your hearing. I mean,
Let me see your teeth.
It's like
Wow.
truck drivers who go deaf and left from the window being
Best
down.
teeth on the planet.
Oh, yeah. I knew he
Yeah.
wasn't talking to me.
I mean,
I have
even
nice teeth, but they're yellow.
vehicles that drive by, I'm like, how can you stand to be in that vehicle? Or motorcycles, or just, I don't know, either I'm old or the noise pollution is terrible.
Is it tendonitis or is it damage?
Actually, so I went about a year ago.
Tinnitus,
Tinnitus.
yeah.
And I had no hearing loss. Like, I was at the lower range of normal, but still normal. But now I get some ringing in just my right ear, and it's just off and on. So volume's got to go. But when I was younger,
That might go back to the Schumann resonance.
Yeah.
I used to wear my
seven, isn't it?
what was that? The Sony Walkman. Because I used to be a runner, so I could put my music in and turn the volume all the way up and run for an hour, 2 hours, and just blast my music. So I'm sure that didn't help.
That's
Going to a Motorhead
dangerous.
concert for an
I
hour.
know, but
Dangerous if somebody snuck up behind you.
I usually, yes. This was in the 90s. I felt
Well,
safe.
Yeah.
Well, imagine
for them.
imagine what
Yeah.
the earbuds of today are doing to the ears, because they're bass boom, and they're in there tucked in, and then noise canceling, so it's all. Yeah. We're gonna have a whole bunch of people, and they're like, "What?"
I don't use them.
4 years.
Imagine people walking around with their earbuds in on their phone. They don't know what the hell's going on around them.
Nobody has any.
Yeah. And maybe back to that true crime for a moment. Maybe that Morin gal, they
Oh, yeah.
She might have had
Maybe
earbuds.
had some in, but then again, I don't know. We're gonna dive into.
You're still cutting out a little bit.
There's
Cutting out.
There's a guy that I wanted to do a story on myself, who was a YouTuber, and it didn't really get on, like mainstream media, how, they omit some information and they only tell whatever. But it was the kid in New York who worked at a grocery store,
Okay.
and he did a mass thing in the grocery store.
Oh yeah, was that Texas?
Well,
You said New York?
Well, no, I think it was New York, if my memory serves me. But it was only not only one's way too many, but it was a couple of people, and it could have been a lot worse or whatever, because he really didn't have it in him, like some of these other people do. But he was a YouTuber, and he went off the deep end, and he was recording all of his thoughts while he would drive around for like hours at a time. And some of the things that this guy is saying is extremely disturbing. You're talking about delving into the mind of a killer.
Wow.
If you don't know where to go to find the videos, you won't find them, but I know where to find them. And I have a hard time believing with technology and the ability that they recognize what we're saying immediately when you start this video, and they know if you've said a cuss word. You're going to tell me that this guy was uploading these videos to the internet, whether they were private or whatever, they were loading up on the internet. You can tell me they didn't know that he was saying these things.
Right.
Like AI didn't, one of the,
Right.
what was it back in the day? If you're on the phone and you say a code word or a certain word, they'll start recording your crap. If you said the BOM, or this word with that word in the same, you know what I mean? So I find it hard to believe that the powers that be didn't know about this maniac, and what he was planning on doing.
I actually invented the technology to take voice to text on YouTube videos. And I patented it. I sold that patent for like $100,000.
We should have kept that sucker.
Well, my patent, I invented VBR. I invented probably 20 different things. I sold.
Well, you're lucky you're still alive.
Yeah, well, I didn't invent anything that would get me killed.
Right. Giving it up probably helped as well. Some of the things, but no, that's pretty cool. It's not too often that somebody can say that I've invented one thing, but multiple things.
My dad's a patent agent. My sister's a patent agent. And I was the vice president of Central Coast Patent Agency for 17 years.
Right.
And I was the vice president of Edge Mobile Payments up until last year. So, yeah, I just resigned.
You got an interesting background.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a smart dude.
I've done just about everything. Construction, underground, what was that, collection agent, worked in the metal fabrication.
You can fix cars.
Welding, mechanic, construction,
Well, man's got to have multiple hats in the world of today.
Yep. Our joke
I go to a auto repair shop and I see the price of labor on the wall, and I'm like, well, guess I'm going home to change my water myself.
Yep.
It's 6 hour minimum, and it's 120, 130, $40 an hour. Nah.
Our joke around the house is that MAB knows how to do stuff.
I can do stuff.
You can do stuff. You can figure out anything.
He's like, what's Liam Neeson in Taken? He has a certain set of skills.
Yeah.
And if I don't know how to do it, I'll find out.
Exactly. You'll research it, where I just don't have the patience for that kind of stuff.
Well, you know how many times I've looked up on YouTube?
You do it.
Oh, gosh. All this stuff, it took me, when I made the little soap commercial, I thought it was a commercial. Turns out it's an infomercial because it was like 8 minutes long, because Dolly Vision sells soap.
Right.
In case Rotten Apple News, Lee doesn't know.
Sorry, I've been called worse, man.
Oh my God, editing and just on this iPad, even what the little heart meant and saving a picture. I figured it all out just by trial and error, and it took me 6 hours in a row to turns out I'm really naive. But I wanted to say, making that good money, Matt, that's why you have a beautiful home and a beautiful wife and beautiful orange trees.
Oh, yeah.
What other trees does he have? What do you have other fruit too?
I think I posted on Facebook pictures of the garden.
Just the orange trees. Oh no, there's a really anemic little lemon tree. But it produces 10 or 20 lemons a year, so that's really all we need.
That's cute.
What part of California are you in? Southern?
Central, like Monterey Bay Area.
All right. I'll be in San Jose.
Okay.
At the end of the month.
That's an hour away.
Yeah, I used to live right around. That was my old stomping ground.
Well, come on down to the Monster Truck Jam.
Oh, fine.
I'll be there. Saturday.
That's fairgrounds.
Sound like the guy.
No, at the arena. I forget which one it is. I'll be at the arena. I'll be there working the Monster Jam show.
Is Grave Digger still doing his monster truck thing?
Who?
Gravedigger? Or did he retire?
Oh no, he's the most popular guy out there. There's
Oh.
not just one Gravedigger.
There isn't?
No, there's no. It's a corporation, baby. They're out to make money. At any given time, there's 3 monster truck jam shows going on all around the country. There will be one in California at the end of the month. It'll be California.
Ever hear of Whistle and Diesel?
It's yeah. There's probably 2 or 3 going on at any given time.
Have you seen
Wow.
Whistle and Diesel?
Yeah, I like him. I kind of like his attitude, but I don't like the fact that he destroys money.
Yeah.
You can use that money and give it away to benefit the world. You know.
Somebody took that stupid car up in Moab.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm. If I had $1 million, I'd probably give it all away to people that needed it. You know what I mean? I don't care about money. I've had it. It didn't bring me happiness.
Yeah.
You can't take it with you. You know.
Helping other people is key.
That's all I try to do.
Like a post office the other day, the old Korean lady had this huge box. And I'm like, there's no way this lady can carry this thing. I'm like, so I hung around. I said, let me get that for you.
Aw.
Carried it to her car.
Well, that's nice. I mean, the fact that he trusted you too is nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're in a little town of Aromas. It's just really one stop sign, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, it only takes one act of kindness from everybody every day to make the world a better place. Doesn't have to be everybody. It could be a fraction of the world, you know. But yeah, it's
If somebody offered to carry like something heavy for me, even from the grocery store to anywhere, I would just say no thanks, just struggle with it. And I think it's because of all this true crime I watch now. And then because ever since the Summer Wells thing, I just thought of what I was going to say. Then I went on YouTube to look into the Summer Wells thing. And then that's when I saw the whole true crime community. And I was like, wow, it's a community, right? And then I started going, I called in Jimmy's show, and I have tremors anyway. I have essential familial tremors. And I won't say what I'm on, but I'm on something that helps with them. And I noticed a difference in 4 days. Like my face in the beginning would move a little like this, like I didn't feel it. I mean, it still moves a little now and then, probably, but not at all like it used to. Anyway, so fumbling with all my notes. What? What, Matt?
Has that shaking her head kind of.
Yeah, it's still there, but I look at earlier videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, about 75 years old, shaking. But yeah, so I was fumbling with my notes, and he said, oh, relax, whatever he said, you're going to get a paper cut. And then that's where my name came from. And yeah, there's a few other paper cuts out there. There's a deadly paper cut somewhere. I've seen that.
Infected paper cuts. There's all kinds of green paper cuts. There's
yeah.
Let's get the name again. I was typing.
But no, it's definitely a lot of true crime out there.
My mom had Parkinson's. So we originally thought it was essential tremor.
Oh,
and
no.
It's really hard to diagnose, but basically they tried to treat her. Looks like I have a mustache.
A white mustache.
They tried to treat her for the essential tremor and it didn't work. And so they sent to a neurologist, and we did some more testing, and it was Parkinson's. So
yeah, and let me just say something about that. When I went to the neurologist for the first time, I think it was in 2001, because they started in 1989. And I thought, honestly, that's what DTs were, because I had drank the night before, and not every day, not every night, but in my 20s every week. That's what, we did. So I thought it was DTs, but that's different from, delirium tremens. So they started in 89. When I'm trying to write at a bank, I'm like, whoa, this isn't working. And when I went to the neurologist, he had me take my heel and go down my leg like this to see if I could do it. He had me walk down the hall with my eyes closed. He had me start in the middle and go round and round and round and see how hard I was pressing. He had me write my name. And what he said was, you don't have Parkinson's, which I had never even heard of back then. But there's a 10% chance. I think he said 10. I don't think he said 5, 10, that this could turn into that.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, okay, 10's low. I'll go with that. I'm happy. My dad tremored before he passed 2 years ago. And my sister, when I saw her for the first time in a while, she was tremoring. But yeah, I'm happy I don't have that yet.
My brother has it.
Parkinson's.
Your brother has it?
Yeah, I diagnosed him. I think I diagnosed him myself, but that, you know, because we were at I don't know, Thanksgiving or Christmas, we were in my niece's, and I went, got my plate, and I was sitting down, at the table, and watching my brother, and it was probably after, you know, it was dessert time now. Well, anyways, he's going for a slice of pie or something, and I'm watching him, and he's 15 years older than me. I'm 55, so in a couple of weeks I'll be so. But yeah, he's 14 years old. But anyways, so as he's reaching for the pie, I could see his hands going like this.
Yeah.
And he was doing it real slow, like he was like
really
struggling to reach for it. And I'm like, what in the heck is he doing? And my sister-in-law sitting right there, and I'm like, what's the matter with him? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I go, look. So she turns around, and he was still trying to reach for that piece of pie, and just little short little tremors that you can barely see, that I could see it. And I said, do you guys know what he's got? Does he know has he got Parkinson's? I said, have you guys not, you know, I'm like, why didn't you guys tell us he's got Parkinson's? Yeah. And he's like, oh, we took him to the doctor, and he doesn't have Parkinson's. And I said, he's got Parkinson's. Take his ass back to the doctors and tell the doctor he don't know what he's talking about. So then, and I'm scared. I'm like, me and him, I'm like, damn, what am I going to have it? No, you know, but
I talked to the neurologist because my mom ended up with dementia, and my grandmother had Alzheimer's. So I'm at the neurologist, like, okay, am I going to get this? You know,
do a test, you know.
And I know, but the neurologist said there is not a family.
It's not in your lineage. It's not in your history, or
it's not genetic.
Right.
Oh,
in your lineage. Yeah.
Oh.
So
well,
the
that's good.
I know.
See, I think here. Let me go and grab my aluminum suit and put it on. I think that a lot of it's from the aluminum and the heavy metals that we have in us, whether it be through vaccinations or, you know, through what they spray in the sky and what goes up must come down. It's everywhere. It's in the fish. It's in, you know, mercury here, mercury there. It's aluminum is the biggest factor. And I back in the day, I was listening to Howard Stern while I'm a truck driver. I'm driving on the road listening to this guy, and he was telling a thing about he stopped using deodorant and he went to Tom's of Maine and started using it. He was like, they're not, you know, and it was a big issue, whatever it was, you know, don't talk, you know, he was promoting something that they weren't getting paid to do. And he's like, oh, I'm going to talk about it. He goes, this is aluminum free, and, you know, blah, blah. And he's like, he was being all conspiratorial. And I'm like, you know, wait a minute, you know, my armpits were itching, you know, from deodorant. And that little gnat. But I stopped using it, right? You know, I'm listening to Howard Stern, and he's influencing me, you know, and I stopped using, you know, aluminum deodorant. And now I don't itch. I don't have an issue. But at the same time, Tom's of Maine sold out to Calgon or one of those, you know, so now it's not get any aluminum free Tom's, but now other companies are making it. And I think it's got to do with the metals in it. I could be wrong, but hey.
Well, I asked my neurologist, I said, what is this from? This was before I had seen my dad, because my dad was in Iowa, my sister in Missouri, far away from me. I didn't see him very often. I didn't even know they were tremoring. And he said, me stress. Now, you know, neurological being, and I have, for someone that's fairly calm, I'm 61, and happy-go-lucky up here and stuff, I've had a really stressful, and a lot of it was brought on by the choices and the risks I took, you know, hitchhiking now and then, and traveled to Okinawa, you know, by myself. That was intense, and divorce and whatever, right? We go through, and then not being with immediate family through different things in my life. Like a lot of people can just go have a cup of coffee with their mother or something. You know what I mean? If they're even an hour away, and so, but you know, I don't know. I've had all my vaccines and stuff when I was little. My mom's a nurse, and she feels that the pros outweigh the cons. And we talked about, and I won't get into it, but I, for one, have had them. Okay. And I've had 5 of them. Now, whether I'm gonna, but I had a stroke. It'll be 3 years, September 4th, that I had a ischemic thalamic stroke. And I had no signs of it coming on. And I mean, at all. I wasn't tired. I was cereal. I rode my bike to my eye appointment. And luckily, I was a little jacket off. And speaking of this area, I couldn't feel my coat on the top of my wrist. But, you know, anyone else might ignore it. But it was like this, you know, it was weird. But by the time the paramedics came and everything, and I was stepping into the ambulance, and this is after they told me, you know, we don't see anything wrong, your oxygen, whatever, everything's fine, but we'll take you to the hospital. I knew if I still wasn't feeling my skin, right, after my appointment, I'd be calling them anyway. And I had my bike with me and all that, and they put it in the ambulance, and I was full-fledged having a stroke on my way. Yeah, I couldn't feel my leg going up when I was stepping in. When they did the face, action, speech, and time, which is fast, on the 911 thing, I was moving, you know, she was like this, and I was whatever. But then when it came time to talk, I was like all ready to just say the words monkey, whatever she was saying. And I was like, "Ugh." And then I started screaming. I was like, I'm in this eye appointment place with all these people out front. I'm going, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. The stroke didn't even enter my mind. I thought I was having a heart attack. But anyway, I spent the weekend in ICU, and I'm really blessed because if you think about it, I have all these tremors. And because they gave me the TPA medicine, which I read about, it was invented just now about 13 years ago. And it wasn't hemorrhaging. It was a clot. If you have the hemorrhaging strokes.
More cooler than that, because my dad had a heart attack when he was 49, and they had
And they did what?
they gave him the TPA. He had a heart attack.
Oh, see?
Meeting on a bicycle.
Oh, I hear a kitty.
I hear it going too
Yeah.
loud.
Is that
Oh,
your
Outside.
he's on the other side of the door. But
Hey,
yeah,
you know,
thank God it was a clot, you guys, because the bleeding kind, can they then, Matt? Can they give you the TPA medicine if you're hemorrhaging?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. So I was lucky. It was the size of an M&M, and it was on
It's a clot busting drug.
right. Our friend had a stroke,
Oh.
and he did very well.
He had a stroke right before I found out about that I was in the stroke danger.
Wow.
well, you
See,
know,
I did really well too. They released me, and my hand was numb the next day. Like on Sunday, it was numb right here. And I was like, why is that still? And they said, because the medicine's still working. But the weirdest thing of all of it, I'll just like to say this, is the day I got to leave, I had to be able to walk, right? Stand up on my own. And I was only in bed, like bedridden, whatever, not bedridden, but in the bed for what? 2 days and 2 nights. I sat up in the bed. I was so weak, I fell back. So then I think the guy, the physical therapist guy, probably thought I wasn't going to be able to do anything. I got up, he pulled me up with the belt, and I had to walk down these stairs really slowly. Felt like I was 90 years old, and then back up. And they did the testing of chewing different kinds of granola bars, soft, hard, to make sure I could swallow. I had speech tests, very, very thorough. And they let me go home, and I didn't have to have a caretaker, come in. And I'm blessed. I'm lucky. And I'll tell you, after that experience,
for sure.
Yeah, after that experience, I'm here to say, for me, I had high cholesterol, but I had gotten it down some with red yeast rice pills. But like you were saying, Lee, the genetic thing is genetic on my dad's side, because I did the Mediterranean diet, cut out all the fats, barely drank any kind of milk, much less skim. But what I'm saying is, they were always concerned a couple years before it with my blood pressure. And I always thought, oh, a little bit doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm here to say, if it's a little, it can go up higher. Because I fought the medication thing. I was like, no, I don't want it. I'm thankful I'm on it.
There was
keep an eye on your blood pressure, folks.
Really. When I was going from when the pandemic took off, I started driving from Detroit to the Mexico-Texas border for work. And I'd start in January, like mid-January, and I went back and forth every week for 15 months nonstop. Other than I took a break at Christmas time, and I would go to McAllen, Texas, and there was a hospital there, and every time I would drive by it, I'd see it, observing it. That was before before and during, but then after they, fast tracked the things, I took a break and I wasn't doing it anymore because I did it for a year and 3 months straight. So I took a break, but then I went back probably, I don't know, several months after that was being distributed everywhere, in the same hospital that I would drive by for not just that whole time, but I was doing it before as well. The hospital now, after everybody's got these and then the numbers went through the roof with people having strokes, the hospital now had a big banner hanging from like the top floor. It was plastered on the side of the building. It was like a 3-story banner advertising that it is now the new comprehensive stroke care center. So
yeah, but I've said,
folks.
Let me say this really quick though. I also heard, because see, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a 6th one. Do you know what I mean? Like I told my mom, I don't know if I'm going to do this every 6 months, getting the, the booster. And but once you have a stroke and you get the C, it's easier to have a stroke again. So for me, and I believe that. I actually believe what you say too. I'm not putting any doubt in, is it good for you? Is it not good for you? I had a neighbor who got it, and he's a real big guy. He nearly died. Like he could hardly breathe and this and that. But I don't know.
Well, I don't know, how far you want to get into it, because like I said, I could wear an entire tinfoil outfit, but I don't want to get into it here.
It's Mab's show.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a
long,
it's a big topic. And I will say this about it.
I've done my research, and I can tell you.
I'll say this, and I'll shut up about the tinfoil thing. People want to learn about what went down in that entire period. Grab a book written by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. titled "The Real Anthony Fauci," and you will see what really the truth is. Because when Robert F. Kennedy wrote that book,
hey, how's it going?
He had a team of lawyers fact checking, making sure that he isn't going to be liable or slanderous, and you know, whatever is in that book is gospel, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be in that book, and he'd be sued if it wasn't. Guaranteed. So if that book was, in my opinion, used as an indictment against the people that were responsible, they'd all be under the prison. That's the true crime of the century.
Mab, do you wanna have Sweetleaf ask her if she wants to say something, because we've all talked all this time, and the others.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Mab. Hi, Mrs. Mab.
Hello, Agent Shay.
Hi, Mr. Rotten Apple News. I just dropped in, so it's the first time I see you live, Mab. So glad you're up. And Tina, thank you for helping him out.
I'm just here.
What I wanted to ask was something that's been happening to Mab was the numbness in his jaw from the surgery, right? Well, I broke my ankle, and it flipped completely almost to the back of my leg.
Oh,
And of course, I needed surgery, but I didn't get it till 4 months later because I got released from the hospital, and I didn't go to an orthopedic specialist to go into surgery, which I didn't think I needed to. I thought it was a broken ankle, which I didn't know all that. But anyway, they had to put me in surgery, and they put a plate and like 17 screws all in my ankle because every bone in my ankle was broke. And eventually, there's no other. I'm in pain every day, and that tingling and stuff that you have, which was really hard to do. But
what's it at? What's it on the store?
The doctor finally did like what he did with the athletes. He puts a deep sensational heat. Have they tried to do any kind of therapy on your face that can get that tingling to back to the nerve?
Well,
Have they offered you anything?
The nerve has been stretched.
Yeah.
So it was completely numb, and now it's coming back, but it's taken a really long time.
but no, they say there is no treatment, and it's just time. So we've considered acupuncture, but yeah.
What about the TENS machine that you, Mrs. Mab? What about the TENS machine? If you can find out where to put the TENS machine to go into the jaw. And then another thing that helped me is with the radiated heat, with the CBD therapy that they gave me.
Mark, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, good. I was just making sure my mic was working because it wasn't working last time.
Actually, you know what they made me do in physical therapy when I shattered my tib and fib? Is you have to tie a belt around and then use the belt to increase the mobility.
Yeah, I did all of that. Only it's my right ankle, and
so it's your dominant foot.
Yeah, it's my dominant foot. So the surgery is on my right side of my ankle, which the plate they took out about over an inch and put in a plate. but down below that, across my foot, the bone mass didn't take place. So I got bone that grew except for underneath the right of my ankle, and it grew okay on the left, only I got a screw coming out on the left side of my ankle.
Yeah.
So
Let me interrupt really quick. Mab, are you getting anything in the chat? It's like she's talking in a bullhorn. So
Yeah, there's an echo. It sounds weird. I can hear it, but it sounds.
Maybe Sweetleaf needs to turn her down a tad. I don't know.
it could be
Now
the
echoing.
mic. It could be the mic that it's or something like a
Okay,
tearing in the mic.
I'll back up. Is this better?
Sounds
No.
good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Okay.
No, it sounds.
Yeah, because you're echoing, Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'm
echoing too.
echoing right now.
Am I really
Off
still
your
right now?
camera, Tina, it would help.
Should I what, Mab?
Just
Shut
do
off the
this.
camera.
Reset your
Do
thing.
this.
Yeah, it
Just
sounds
whoever's
terrible.
echoing, say this. Today, I feel like the luckiest
Yeah, it's Tina.
person in the
Like
world.
the luckiest boy in the world.
Hello?
You need to fix your thing, Tina. You know what you need to do is log out and log back in. It's what it is the server issue.
Is
Okay.
it? All right.
Maybe
I'll
Yeah.
help you out. And
Bandwidth issue.
are you going to put another link in for me, Mab? Or
Oh. What
Yeah,
happened?
probably what it is you need
You just-
headphones or
You
something.
might be able to just back out and come right back in, Tina.
well, I
Might not
usually
have to do the link
just
again.
to answer Eric is I'm up on Dolly Visions like every night for a year, and every now and then it echoes, but I go
So-
out and come back in and it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I'm on an
echoing.
iPad.
So,
All right, I'm
You
gonna
so,
go
guys
back
hear
out,
me?
come back
It's
in, and
just
see.
saying the
so
volume
you're
is
using
so low.
Wi-Fi, right? It could be your Wi-Fi screwing up.
Yeah, I'll hop out and try to come in and see if that's better. All right,
You
Matt.
you
Okay.
you can
Okay.
plug your headphones into the iPad.
I don't
Oh,
have.
I didn't even know the comments. I turned on the comments.
So Mrs. Mab,
Hold
is
on.
she? So Mr. Mab, hey Mab.
Hey, how you doing, sweetly?
So, is there any kind of therapy
Not that
that
I'm aware of.
that Mr. News is talking about? Because they use this on athletes to get their muscles and nerves going.
Well,
What you
Well-
need to do is you gotta use that what they call it the rolling disc for your feet, and you gotta work on that to get strengthened up your ankle, and also don't overstrain your foot.
Yeah,
walking
that's
all the
my
time.
foot. I mean, this has been 4 years ago, but I'm talking about Mab. Like, is
Oh.
there anything that he or you that you can think of that would help that nerve damage? Because as soon as we get to that nerve damage, the better it's gonna get.
I could say weed would do it, but that's just me.
Cranial nerves are different than peripheral nerves. So the healing of the nerves in the face are different than the healing in the nerves of the foot or the leg or things like that. And
You guys are mistaken. Nerves don't heal. They're either dead or they're not.
Yeah.
well, it's not dead. It was
Yeah, but it can go dead if you don't give it therapy. That's what happened to my foot.
But why didn't you move your foot around to continue the
I
blood
do.
to the nerve? Are you couch bound?
No, I can walk, but I can't, you know, it's supposed to be fused together, but I have a movement in my foot. And
So you're
because I
saying-
have a movement in my foot, the doctors told me that there's part of the bone. And
So you're
so
saying
now
you had a
that
loose screw? That's what you're trying to say.
Well,
Yeah,
wait a second.
I got a loose screw.
I must be misunderstanding something because you're saying a movement in your foot. Your feet are supposed to move. You're supposed to be able to fluctuate and have a range of mobility. I don't
Not
understand
if
what you're
it's
saying. There's a movement
not
in
if
my
it's
foot.
fused. If it's fused together, it isn't supposed to move.
Why
I
did they have to fuse bones together? That sounds weird.
well,
It sounds like
no, it's called a fuse operation where the ankle and all the screws is fused together to where
Well,
it can't move.
what happened to the ankle that it had to be fused together? I must have missed that part.
I stepped in a hole of grass that had been like 3 feet tall that had sprinklers, and somehow the grass grew up over the sprinklers, and I stepped into the hole, and it flipped my ankle to the right and completely broke
I'm a
everything.
little confused about what sprinklers have to do with the situation.
No, I'm saying I stepped in a hole and it broke my foot.
Can you hear me, Matt?
yeah, I can hear you.
I don't.
Echoing, you guys? Am I echoing?
You're fine.
I'm
You're fine.
interrupting for a minute.
You
Let me
seem
tell
fine
you what.
now.
Let me tell you what happened. So I went down, and I was the only one in chat. The only one, and it said, Mab. It said, streaming. I'm streaming, or you're streaming, whatever, offline. So I typed in the chat. And then I went ahead and hit on your little avatar on my iPad, and boom, your StreamYard came
Can
up.
I hear the end of the story, please?
Yeah, but I wanted to say something really quick, Eric. Mab and I, this is our very first time.
Please tell us the end of the story so we can decide if we want to hear it or not.
No, we're eventually going to do true crime up here. Just kind of testing. He and I were testing the waters.
So
it's not right, Mab. It's not going to be just a.
So you guys are like Sherlock Holmes type shit.
No. What we're going to do is, let me tell you guys, because you don't really know, is we're choosing a true crime thing, but not one that's in the mainstream media like Koberger and everything else that everyone's talking about. And we're going to deep dive into it, Agent J, until a suspect is found or So Mab's channel, just so you know, isn't going to be from this point on, which is fine today, Sweet Leaf, because we're just getting used to each other and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to be talking about my stroke and your ankle.
No, I was just trying to figure out if there was a different kind of therapy because of the let me finish, because of the therapy that I went through physically, if there was something for his jaw. Now, Mr. Mab, I'm gonna leave the channel because I guess I'm causing an uproar between Tina. But let me finish. Mab, did you hear about the snake that fell from the tree that a lady that was mowing her yard that wrapped around her arm and was trying to bite her in the face, and a hawk flew down and got the snake? Well, that's an awesome story. So
I heard the devil did that.
You did hear about it. Okay. So we're gonna end my conversation because you'd like so. Okay. So, Mab, I'll get you.
Something now, Mab.
Shit.
I prefaced
Right.
that this is our first time here, and there's no problem with random stories.
No, but I was just trying to get to where Mab's therapy was and talk to Miss Mab.
Honestly, Tina, you were pretty harsh to Leaf.
No, I left because
you were pretty harsh.
Okay,
she was trying
we're not going to jump
Leaf
on
was trying
Tina.
to tell her story and everything. You just kept trying to interrupt her the whole
was
time.
just wondering if he's had an x-ray to make sure all the bones fused together, because mine didn't, and that's all my questions,
Okay,
and
that's
it
fine.
didn't.
All I said.
And
Eric
and
wants
Tina
to
didn't
know-
want to hear none of it.
Rodney
Tina
King.
didn't want to hear none of it.
You guys,
Yeah, seriously.
Mab.
Can we get
Hey,
along here,
Mab.
people?
hey,
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Mab,
Let
we're
me say
here.
something.
We're here for you. So everybody, let Mab talk.
Yeah, but I'm part of his channel, my dear. Did you know that?
Yeah,
I didn't just pop up.
That's not what I'm saying.
But
We can
you're
hear
not
you, but we can't hear Mab.
But you're not giving me a chance to reply to what you said. I prefaced everything by saying he just got StreamYard going, and we're trying to do the best we can. And what we want to focus on from this day forward, not this minute.
Hey, did anybody hear about the James Jones copycat that's going on?
We want to focus on true crime. That's all. That's all I said. And you're saying, I want you to hop down and this and that. No.
I want to hear from Mab. That's all.
I do too.
Let's just drop it.
there is no therapy that I've done.
Okay.
I haven't tried the TENS device. I'm thinking about acupuncture, and that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, acupuncture and any kind of deep heat therapy. But anyway, I'll let y'all go on. I'll stand by and listen to the rest of
Thank you,
the story.
sweetie.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Mab.
No problem, honey.
Hey,
I
Mab,
don't
you
know.
gotta fix your mic because they say you're too low on your end.
My volume's too low.
Yeah.
I can hear you pretty good. Well, not as loud as other people, but yeah.
I don't know, Tina. Just as a spectator perspective, I think Leaf was trying to tell a story. You were pretty harsh on her, and I understand you're trying to get the direction of the channel going and everything. I understand what you're doing, but she was just telling her story, and it sounds like you were being pretty harsh on her and didn't want to hear it.
Okay, and you
I think
said
Tina
that,
was kind of out of line.
Yeah, let me respond to that now, because you've said that 2, maybe 3 times that I've been harsh. Eric, I sat back, I let my kitty cat out, I went to the bathroom earlier, I haven't chimed in, I've said a few things about my stroke, I haven't stopped her story, and she talked about it possibly 10 minutes, maybe 15, and that's okay. I'm simply saying that both Mab and I go up on panel practically every night on Dolly Vision, and we're trying to do a show together. And we want people to come up and we want people to participate, but it's not from this point on going to be just random things. And she took offense to that because I said after maybe 15 minutes of an ankle story or 10 minutes, something about it. And the only reason I said anything is I am co-host on Mab's channel. That's all. And if you want to try to get a rise out of me, Eric, because you don't know me, that's fine. But you don't have to keep repeating the negativity to me. Just say it once.
I mean, obviously, obviously I don't, because she left the stream because you were so kind of doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's because she's also a woman, and women tend to have a animosity towards each other most of the time.
She left the stream because she told a story. She wanted to know about the therapy that I was doing, which is none. And that was that.
Mm-hmm. And
So
Mab,
let's move on.
Well, before I forget to ask you, because I do need to ask you this, somebody messaged me and wanted to know the name, and I don't know if you would say it, of your holistic. It was written just yesterday, C, holistic doctor. I said I would ask you. I don't know if maybe you don't want to say it on here even. You could just tell me on the phone or email if you want him to know. All right.
I think Sweet Leaf was really just reaching out for help, man. I think she's in pain.
No, I know Sweet Leaf.
And she's
we all know
trying to get someone to hear, man, what she's going through.
I couldn't believe that.
I understand
fix
that.
it for 4 months.
I mean, she stepped in a hole that had sprinklers going.
She's mentioned it before. Okay?
Well, you know how many times I've walked over a sprinkler? It could have been me.
Listen, listen, it's not
Could have been
that
any of this.
this place is for any of us to reach out. I simply wanted everyone to know up here that it's going to be a true crime channel next time we come up, and that's up to Matt. I'm
Is
in
it-
Washington
Is
State. He's in
is it not a crime that the city left that hole in the middle of the park where that sweet child was walking with a sprinkler that stepped in a hole? That's a crime. That's true crime.
Not to Mab and I. What we're gonna do, because we discussed it on the phone, is we're gonna find a case that's half pinned out there that maybe is on Facebook, not just, falling in a hole or somebody falling off their bike because something was left in the road, maybe by the government.
Well, that
whatever.
right there is a case of
well-
gross negligence.
Well, I
But
gave you
we're-
like
Yeah.
a cool idea. That was
We're gonna-
James Jones' copycat.
We're going to discuss it until hopefully a suspect is found. It may not be solved, but that's what Mab and I want to do. We don't want to talk about what everyone else is talking about, but we want to stick it to true crime. That's all. That's
So
all.
are you talking about like violent true crime or just regular true crime?
You
Like-
answer, Mab. You answer. Eric
Yeah,
doesn't.
true crime is usually violent.
Okay, so more like like I was saying, violent true crime.
Murders, missing kids,
Mm-hmm.
abductions.
And in fact, Mab, do you want to fill him in on what we were talking about at the beginning of the show about Lauren?
A lady that had just been murdered. She was jogging. Unalive, sorry.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's because I have Edmund Kemper on the picture back there. Rotten Apple News kind of looks like Edmund Kemper with blonde hair and a beard.
Okay, Mab wanted to explain.
Who?
Try it again, Mab.
Edmund Kemper.
Eric,
See if he'll listen to you.
Eric,
beers
calm
have you
down, man.
Eric,
Can you talk louder, Mab?
Please, sir.
Yeah, your mic is messed up.
It's easier to hear when you got
I'm
earphones.
talking as loud as I can.
Okay, all right. Eric,
Can you hear
he's explaining to you what the program's gonna be.
Somewhat. Do you have what type of mic are you using, sir?
It's just off my Mac.
Well, should I tell you something? You should get like something like a no, like something like a snowball or something, or
Yeah.
something like a wireless mic because it
Well,
sounds so low.
We will figure it out. This is our first live ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats,
You guys
guys.
forget that.
We're open.
Breaking through.
No, I'm just giving you a heads up because
Yeah.
it sounds so low. That's
I didn't even know how to get up here. And when I did, I was like, whoa, it worked. So, Mab, explain to Eric, in case he comes back someday, what this program's going to be about.
It's going to be about true crime. We're going to pick 2 or 3 cases to follow. Not
You're
just,
making Michael get a haircut, Eric.
not just
You looked up Edmund Kemper, didn't you?
But I don't look like him.
Yeah, yes, you
Got
do.
him.
You look like Edmund Kemper with a beard,
Okay,
dude.
got him.
You do.
That was great. That was, I love it.
oh shit.
Okay, one thing I want to establish, Mab, with you, if you want me to do this with you, and I'm going to say it in front of all the gentlemen, is when the creator is at least talking, I think you should be allowed to finish what you're going to say before
Yeah.
being interrupted, or I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not.
All right.
Again, for sure.
Oh, I apologize for interrupting.
No, I was just letting you know because your mic sounds so low. I'm sorry.
It was in the
No,
moment
that's
though, Tina.
different. That's
Yeah.
different. But Rotten Apple News spoke a lot. Eric spoke a lot. H&J was trying to help, and Mab's trying to speak. So why don't we let him?
Actually, I disagree.
back.
Rotten Apple News should apologize for interrupting. I agree. Rotten Apple News should apologize. He interrupted as this beautiful woman, Tina, was speaking, and I think he should apologize for it.
Wasn't speaking, Eric.
Let's
Mab
relax.
was. No, Mab was. Silly.
Eric,
Mab was speaking.
I got somebody else in the backstage. I'm going to drop you out, brother.
All right, one at a
It
time.
was good to hear from you, Eric.
Oh, nice. That's okay. Y'all have a great night.
All
Hey,
right.
Edmund Kemper, Apple News, please don't do anything to your mother or co-eds.
God, I'm so glad I don't have my own channel. Jiminy Christmas.
Paper cat, it's me.
Hi, thank God, another. All this testosterone is
Hey,
too
what's up?
much.
What's
Hey, short
happening?
legs.
Too much
What's
up?
testosterone.
Anyways, I didn't say hello,
Sorry.
Agent Day, short legs, and
Hello.
Arthur. What's
Paper
up?
cut. Oh, okay.
What's wrong with testosterone, Tina?
I don't know, but it's
Okay, I just wanted to get you guys on the right track.
Thank you.
I was going to talk about Rex Herman's wife for a minute.
Okay.
Her name is Asa, and she apparently had nothing to do with the murders of her husband. His DNA links him to 3 murders, and possibly there's a 4th in the same area, all women. And she has an autistic boy, Christopher, from a previous marriage. And he was outside the house crying and crying. And I thought, oh my God, this poor boy, what could they have done? And what they did was they took his PlayStation 5 chip out of his PlayStation so he couldn't play it.
Right.
And they removed 3 of his cats and put him in a shelter.
They also removed the tile piece of the back.
And they left the dog,
Oh.
and they removed plumbing so they can't use their showers, or it would run right into the basement. And they left the house a complete wreck.
They did.
So they can't live in it yet. They have to go to a hotel at night.
Right? They're in a motel.
See,
Yeah.
now Tina's interrupting. I
Several
don't understand this.
And this is Rex
trying to hear
Herman.
Short Leg's
He was
story.
he's in jail right now.
the short legs.
So
Have you heard
where's
from,
this? So where
And
does
this is
murder
all
take
allegedly.
place?
I guess I should say allegedly.
So
you
where
heard
is this
This is
supposedly
what's
murder?
going on, and I
This is
I
awesome
feel
with
so
no one having
terrible for the
headphones on.
boy.
one at a time?
Oh my God! And he doesn't understand what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand where his stepdad is, or he doesn't understand why the house was torn up, and he can't stay there. So I feel so terrible for this child. I can't even tell you. I was crying, but I'm okay now. But I mean, it affected me.
I can't even hear her over Tina. Every time you're trying to get to the point of the story,
right now to
Tina
Lori.
just tries jumping in.
No, I'm saying to Lori, Agent J, that MAB is trying to say something.
Agent J, that wasn't me that was talking. That was Lucas.
Okay.
Did you
I
want to
was
say
looking
something,
at
Mab?
Yeah, MAB was going, kept trying.
Have you heard from the lawyer from 2 of the victims about the wife?
About the wife? As
Started a GoFundMe. However, she's wealthy.
after all of that, she sent him divorce papers in jail. But if she divorces him, she only has 2 months left of health insurance, and she has breast cancer and skin cancer.
What about all of the properties and real estate they own and the money that's probably in the bank? I mean, she's not destitute.
Well, she'll have to pay for her health insurance somehow.
Yeah, just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But painting the picture that she's like a homeless, person that has no means is ridiculous, because they have multiple properties in multiple states with probably credit lines. I mean,
Mab, I can't even concentrate on what you're saying, Mab, because I just feel like Tina's just trying to cut in, man. It's
right.
she's just going at it's giving me anxiety, man.
No, that
like,
paper cut.
I'm
She
trying to
sometimes.
concentrate.
Wait a minute.
I have mental disabilities, and it's like Tina's just biting at the bit trying to get.
No, I'm sitting in back being quiet. And you're saying something
He's
about
got
it.
autism.
I had high hopes. Hopefully, man, I can come on sometime.
No, see,
but it's just Tina, man. I don't know what's going on. That it's just. I know Sweet Leaf kind of got you riled up, man, but I don't know why you have to come at me like this, Tina.
listen. I thought it was Agent J that was talking. He said it was you. The thing is, my son has anxiety and I have anxiety. But when you said that I was chiming in too much, I wanted it known that MAB.
I
was
never said that,
saying-
Tina. I never said that. Now you're just putting words in my mouth. I feel really. This
No,
is really
I thought-
kind of. This
Just
is
a
really
minute.
getting me on edge, man. I'm
He's
sorry.
got-
I'm sorry,
Hey,
Mab. You have a great
Agent
show.
J
Maybe
said-
I'll see you
It's not
some
a
other
fucking
time.
cat fight, people.
I can't deal.
Agent J said that it was him. So I thought it was him. Agent J, you said it was Lucas.
Yeah.
Because Rotten Apple News has his mic.
Oh, by the way, he's
Oh,
autism. He's autistic, so he was trying to like
So is my son.
he
But
has
this is
a
Oh, you know
Matt
what,
needs to
Papercut?
talk
I
to-
just probably bothered him and made him very sad with the story of the woman Asa. So he's
No,
probably.
it might be more than that. It's almost like I thought
You
Take
were
it easy,
doing that
Mab.
hum thing that you do.
No, I was sitting back here for like the last minute, and then he said something about me chiming in too much again, and I'm way back here just listening. So I don't. My son's autistic, and he's 27, but Mab should be able to.
Apple.
Rotten Apple is raising his hand. He wants to say something to you. Yes.
I apologize for interrupting, but I don't know. I think maybe the guy was just messing with you, yanking your chain. I think there's a couple of them doing it. So Tina, don't let them yank your chain, sweetie. You gotta be thick-skinned dealing with people on the internet because they'll see a opportunity to come in and get you,
And you know what?
find whatever little thing
I'm
that bugs
interrupting you,
She's
Rotten.
tough enough to handle this.
Yeah,
Don't
let me
worry about it.
you. Right,
Let me interrupt you, Rotten. I know, and I've been called everything under the book, and it comes with the territory when you go up on panel, especially one that's called Uncensored now that Mab goes up on also. And that's why I stuck up for myself with Eric.
No, I
Because,
don't blame you. Yeah.
because I
Eric
said,
might have had a beer or two in him.
yeah, and I said he's trying to get a rise out of me. But that's why I tried to get him to focus and know that this is going to be about true crime and it's not going to be about all the things that everyone else talks about. It's not going to be about the Dobermans and what we want to cover. What Mab and I discussed on the phone before coming up is we want to find stories out there, okay, that are different and not talked about on all the channels. And so that after today is what we're going to do. And then people that aren't familiar with it, we're going to say what it's about, like this Morin lady that was dragged 25 feet with a blood trail in Maryland. They don't have a suspect. And then we're going to talk and banter and ask questions to each other. And then he's going to pull up panel guests and we're going to still discuss that. We're not going to go on to Rex. We're not going to go on to Dobermans. We're not going to go on, you know what I mean? Because that's all, it's already being discussed, you guys, on everything else. So we
Well,
want something.
the important stories that are being discussed is what's going on today with them. You could print out, what has been found, and a hair was positively identified as one of the victims in the Rex Herman case. It was new news, so.
But we don't want to do that. That's what Mab and we want to be different. We don't want to discuss what BJ and Dolly are talking about, what Dumplin's talking about.
Discuss other cases like Huberman or
the mainstream. We want to do true crime. This happened 3 days ago, but we want to bring up ones that people haven't heard about or can just go on people.
Okay, well, how can we discuss it if we don't know what you're going to bring up? What are you working on now?
Well, you'd have to look into it along with us.
This was the first live stream I've ever done.
Yeah.
I got on the phone with Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Decided, let's try it. Went live, and then all hell broke loose.
It was fine for like the first hour or something, but then people came up and And that's okay because not everyone knew. You know, I'm talking about my stroke, ankles, all these different things. It's not, no one has to be rigid, but our plan and our mindset is to do other stories out there, not kicking a dead horse with the same, you know, there's lots of crime out there. There were
Well, no,
some shit.
Paper Cut, that's wrong. You really want to focus on, you know, the big news stories
No, Lori.
and the breaking news. That's what everyone wants to watch. We don't want to hear about little cases.
Lori, Mab and I discussed this, and we want to do something different. We don't want to do what everyone's discussing. For one, we want to do different stories. So if you don't want to listen or be part of
time and not like bounce over.
Well, then it would just be you and Mab talking because nobody would know what the story was about.
No, that's what I said to you. What we'll do is we'll announce it. We'll banter. I'll ask him questions. He'll ask me. People will come up, but we're going to stay on the subject of the true crime. He also wants to have one plus another, few others. So what you can do is you can Google and look into it and then come up and discuss it with us.
Okay, so write it in the title so that people can look it up before
That's a good idea.
Come on.
That's a good idea, but we didn't know. This is our very first thing, and he's the one that
dinner. So
okay,
another 5 minutes.
That's a good idea.
He's trying to get a word in again. What is it, Rotten Apple?
I just wanted to, first of all, I've been wanting to jump off and go do my thing, but I appreciate you guys welcoming me on here. I look forward to coming and watching your stories. I will be back. Enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Yes, it was. You did learning some stuff here. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, I guess, it takes it's Mab's, second one, right? I don't think it's his first one.
First live.
It's first live. Okay.
Well, you'll work the bugs out. It'll be cool. I appreciate you. Hey, I'll be watching.
Nice to meet you, Rotten Apple News. Where are you out of? What state?
I'm out of Detroit, Michigan.
Michigan. Okay. I have friends from Chicago visiting.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate it, you guys. I'll be back. I'll your stuff. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a good day. Later.
Can I say something, Mab, to the chat? The reason I brought up like I did while Sweet Leaf was up here and everyone else is if I hadn't said anything, right? And then we do our next show and all these people come up and they all start chit-chatting and, maybe drinking and trying to fight with people and they think it's a shit.
Well, you can't control what people want to talk about on a live.
No, Lori, let me finish. I'm trying to say why I did what I did.
Okay.
So the reason I brought it up today is so that next time everyone comes up and let's say it happens again, and then I try to say something, people will think that I'm trying to decide everything and take over the show and tell Mab what to do. I'm letting everyone know from day one when it got out of hand after an hour and a half that that's our goal and that's our plan. And now we're discussing it with you. So that's what we're doing, Lori.
Okay, so what was the story you're discussing?
Go ahead. The woman.
Maybe Mab and you should come on and then start off before you let people up. Just start off.
We did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did, and that's why I'm getting a tad frustrated because I didn't.
I missed the beginning. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We talked about the case of the woman who I can't remember her name, but she was murdered on a hiking trail. She was naked. She was a beautiful woman, had 5 kids. I think she was 37. She was near a tunnel, near an apartment complex. She was apparently drugged 25 feet and kind of posed.
Whoa.
And they made an attempt to make it so that she was unrecognizable bashing her face in.
And I think her name was Rachel Morin, wasn't it, Mrs. Matt? And this is what, Baltimore, Maryland? So see, that way, Lori, you can look it up and you can come up and chit chat with us. And putting it in the title is a really good idea, because you have to know, we didn't know what we were doing. I didn't even know if I could get up on his StreamYard. I'm on an iPad. He had to send me the link in my email.
Wow. I was able to get up pretty easily. Okay, so somebody tried to make her unrecognizable. You sure it wasn't an animal if she was on a trail, right? It was definitely a human people who beat her up.
Yes.
Did they say, was she punched? Was there a knife used? You don't know? Or,
Done by a rock or
Yeah,
oh, a rock was
they
used.
think it was a
Nope.
rock.
Well, that's really good, because then they can get handprint off of the rock.
they find the rock or the pipe or whatever they
I'm
use.
sure they have the rock. Yeah.
Well, and then MAB said, because I just remembered this, so I just want to say it quickly, that her boyfriend was living with her, but she was on dating sites. So that could be a motive for him doing something to her, or this could be a total stranger. You know, we don't want to stay on one crime story waiting until, you know, she gets justice. That could be years, but at least a suspect. And then, like Mrs. MAB said, we should talk about what, 2 or 3 different non-mainstream true crime things. We want to be different, Lori. And I didn't mean to be snappy or rude to you. I think some certain men up
No,
here
I just
frustrated.
wasn't listening very long. I missed the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to put in my 2 cents about, you know, the Rex Herman murders.
Well, and I thought I want to say to that guy, I guess, that's autistic, I purposely, so people would know, because I lean in, I'm in an iPad, and I have auditory processing disorder. So for me to hear what MAB's saying, especially, I have to be close. This is why I do it on Jimmy's too. I purposely leaned back like this and was letting everyone talk. And all of a sudden he brings up my name like I'm chiming in again. And I'm like, no, what? You know, and I'm just like, it was odd. It was very odd.
Let's just put that to rest and word, and you know, this was our first try, and it was pretty good. Honestly,
it was fun. It was
fun.
Interesting and fun.
Somebody I knew years ago, his wife was attacked in a park, and the assailant had a knife. She was just jogging, and it was daylight and everything.
Wow.
And he just popped out of a bush and tried to pull her into it, and he had a knife, and she fought him off. She was able to beat him up.
Wow.
And she didn't get... I think she might have gotten a little cut, but nothing major.
I thought you were going to dinner, Matt.
So you have to be ready to, you know, fight, I guess, nowadays when you go for these jogs. And
or you should just not go alone.
No. Are you?
Hi, Matt.
Are you?
Yeah, she should have never went alone. Yeah, that's...
Lori, are you?
That's something we teach the young kids nowadays. Don't go fishing alone. Always go with 1 or 2 people with you.
That's an awful story.
So someone could get help.
So sad.
Oh my gosh, it's MK Ultra. All right.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Lori,
hi, honey.
Are you able to see MAB when he's talking? Because a lot of times he's trying to say something, but you're still talking, and that's okay. I'm not judging you. But are you able to see him, MAB?
I could see him, but I wasn't hearing him talk.
You're loud, short legs. That's why.
Yeah,
no offense.
Lori, Mike is super
MAB is low. Lori's really loud. Tina's
really
good.
Low.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to end this live because I got to get going.
Go to Din.
Get something to eat.
Yeah, MAB is too low. MAB, you have to put your microphone up.
Awesome, MAB. Bon appetit. Bye, ladies.
Okay, thank you.
Good show.
Yeah, I'll adjust everything. I'll figure this shit out.
Yeah, your volume's way too low, Matt. That's why I'm not hearing you.
Hello.
Yeah, you're kind of good. You just got to get closer to the mic or bring the mic to you.
Yeah,
My mic's on my iMac. I can't move
Matt,
it.
since I'm part hostess, why don't you drop them down and then me last so I can thank you and whatever.
All right.
Want to do that?
Okay, dropping everybody down. See you later, Dave.
Bye. Have
Bye, Dave. Bye,
Sweet
Lori.
leave.
Hi,
Bye,
sweet leaf. I didn't get to say hi. How you doing?
Bye.
Okay,
maybe
he's
he'll do
going
it
down.
tomorrow.
I hope
Okay,
you have a
bye-bye.
good night, sweet leave.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was interesting. You're not mad at me, are you? For holding my own?
No, but you did get a little excited there.
Well, I have to stick up for myself. I have to. I can't. And also, like I said, if I brought something up the second show, people would think, well, who does she think she is? I wanted people to know that I'm your co-host. You're the main host. I'm your co-host. And we've already discussed what we want to do. And I just really, really, you guys, don't want people coming up and saying, no, you've got to talk about this. This is what's popular.
Yeah.
Or no.
Work all this out later, Tina.
Yeah.
But
All
I
right.
also think we should have a little flexibility and make it fun. If
Yeah.
somebody has their own story to tell too. So not necessarily medical issues and what we're all ailing, but you know, it's not just about us. It's about all the people that join us.
But then again, this is what I've learned in a year is by saying that. And then if someone starts talking about their ailments and their whatever, are you going to stop them? No, we don't talk about that up here. That's why what I've seen in this year on Jimmy's, you have to have a little bit of rigidity.
Okay.
I think. But it's what
We'll
you
see how it
guys
goes.
want to do. All
Got
right.
it. No, I totally see your point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then
Yeah.
people get mad anyway. See,
Yeah.
people are mad anyway. Well, go ahead and call me mad when do you want me to come back or is this not something you want?
We'll discuss it.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to be gone in the morning shopping. But that's
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
we've got a dog groomer coming in the morning too. So
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Wait, is there a part so I don't have anxiety that you don't want me up here anymore?
No.
no.
Oh, it's not that. You just
No.
want to discuss things. Yeah, it's part of my battered women syndrome. I just can't let men step all over me. I'll let them have fun with me, but not push it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll be good. I'll be good. Thank you. Bye, you guys.
All right. Good
Bye-bye.
night, Tina. Have a good
Thank
night.
you for coming. You too. Bye.
All right.
Wow.
Well, it was memorable.
That was
People in the chat got all fired up.
that was quite a first live stream. It didn't go quite how I planned.
It went a lot longer than I thought.
I apologize to the viewers. This is my first live, so yeah, we're gonna get it worked out.
Are you still on, honey?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we're gonna get it worked out, and I hope everyone has a good evening, and we will see you later. Peace.